So you're super expert, your work and professional, and you're really high position there in your country, but you want to uh, live in Korea and work, right? Nowadays, studying Korean, right?
I've been studying Korean for a while.
Mm-mm. But you can speak, of course, you're a native speaker of Spanish, and your English is super fluent, and German
Yes, and
also
French.
French.
But German and French, though I could speak them fluently,
Mm-mm.
I have barely spoke in the past 20 years, so I would
But
need
still,
like a little bit more exercise in those languages.
but still, you're polyglot, right?
You could say to some degree, yes.
In Korea, you've been told super several times a lot from Korean ajumma. Ajumma means mid-aged woman. They
Mm-hmm.
told they told you you look handsome, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have tons of ajumma fans in Korea, right?
I suppose.
Why you appeal to ajumma? Why your ajumma
Mm,
style?
well, that's a good question. I should have asked the Ajumas that complimented me, but I suppose there aren't many. Maybe in Seoul there are more European-looking men. Like I remember when I was in Sejong, I lived in Sejong City, and
When you're studying, when you were
yeah, aside
studying.
from the students at KDI, there weren't any foreigners or barely any foreigners. I remember whenever I would walk downtown Sejong or somewhere else, like little Korean children would look at me as if I felt a unicorn. And I
You,
know that
uh,
sensation because like well, for
mm,
example,
mm,
in I think, well,
mm,
in Argentina, there's
mm,
some
mm,
Chinese migration. In La Plata,
mm,
there's the largest Japanese settlement in Argentina, in the
mm,
outskirts of La Plata. But you barely see any Asian people. And actually, the first time that I
mm,
saw a black person in my life was
mm.
when I,
Interesting. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So I
Mm,
remember like the first month I was in Germany, I
mm,
was in northern Germany. It was like what
mm,
in 2002, it was
mm,
everything you wouldn't assume from Germany, like
mm,
blonde, blue-eyed, so on and so forth. But then I went from there to Aachen. So I lived in Aachen for around 10 months.
mm,
In French is Aix-la-Chapelle, or in Spanish is Aquisgrán. Anyways, I remember getting out of the
mm,
of 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 the train at
mm,
my train station.
mm.
I was in shock because it was like black people everywhere. I was like,
Oh.
so it was like
Mm,
surprised because it's so different from well,
mm,
what I grew up with. It's so I understand the little Korean kids that saw me as a unicorn because I had
But
that experience.
yeah, but that thank you for your super long explanation. But it's
Hmm.
not my question. It was not my
Oh,
question.
I see.
Why you appeal a lot to 아줌마 in Korea? You
I wouldn't
could
know.
become a fashion model for 아줌마 style, right? In Korea.
I suppose. There's some small possibility of that, I suppose.
Yeah, because I was very surprised whenever I hang out with you, like went to department store or some shops. Uh,
Hmm, hmm.
very often, 아줌마 told you you look handsome.
Mm,
So you
Um,
really enjoyed it at the moment?
one of the things that I think that plays in my favor is I'm not a European. I'm not US American. I'm Argentine.
Yeah.
And my body language is that of a Latin American.
Mm.
So I think it's more inviting, like like a more gentle, more humane, let's say.
Humane.
Uh, uh,
More
like,
close. Yeah.
yeah,
Close.
yeah.
And also
I think,
I'm not sure, I don't know why, but your acting or movement or your way to thinking or how to react is
hmm,
pretty similar to Korean. So
um,
I don't feel like you're a foreigner or something. You're like a Korean.
oh, I see.